Hello and welcome to IOL News. Today we are joined by Robin-Lee Francke, a journalist for IOL, and we are going to discuss the Joshlin Smith Trial. Robin, on the 29th of May, 3 people were sentenced. Can you just tell us more about that?
So on the 29th of May, Joshlin's mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Jacquen Appollis, and their friend Steveno van Rhyn were sentenced. They were sentenced to life imprisonment for human trafficking and an extra 10 years for the kidnapping of Joshlin Smith.
But where is the child? Is the story over? I think that is the thing that many South Africans have on their lips is how can we say the case is over when we still don't know where she is?
Look, while the trial may have concluded, the search for Joshlin still continues. I know the million-dollar question is, where is this little girl? Um, I think the community of Saldanha especially, they are still very hopeful that Joshlin will be found. I can confirm that law enforcement officials as well as provincial government officials have also confirmed they will not stop the searches for Joshlin Smith.
You have covered this trial from the start, from when Joshlin went missing. What was it about this little girl that just captured the hearts of not only South Africans, but everyone around the world?
You know, we deal with a lot of missing children cases. I think the one thing that stood out is her green eyes. Um, it's the look of innocence, no child, you can't see a child being sinful. So her innocence in all her pictures, that is what gripped you.
And on Wednesday, it was the first time we actually heard her voice by a video. What was the atmosphere in court like for that?
It was very emotional. There was not a dry eye in the court. I think that, everyone has, we kind of form this picture of what Joshlin is, who she is, how she sounds like, and then having to listen to it and see it for ourselves was something that hit home to everyone. Anyone can watch a video of a little child giggling and it will make your day. And while it was a bittersweet moment, to hear her voice, to hear her speak, the pain hit home to everyone because this child has been missing for over a year and there's still no trace about her. And when the video ended, her laugh, I think that was very haunting to everyone. And that broke a lot of people.
Can we speak about Kelly's attitude or her demeanor in court? It was very much not one of a mother whose child is missing, or even a mother or a woman who's on trial for human trafficking. How did you find seeing her and the way she played off in the media and her facial expressions? What was Kelly's demeanor like?
Kelly was literally all about the fame. Kelly loved the cameras. In the morning, she would greet us. At times, she would shout to certain journalists, bring me chocolates, bring me this. Um, she would speak about, oh, it's not right today. Can you get this side or not that side? Kelly was nonchalant. Um, when Judge Nathan Erasmus delivered his sentencing, he told her that there has been not an ounce of remorse from her side. And that's what we all saw. The only time she got emotional was when the cameras were not focused on her, in a sense that the cameras need to be focused on her. You understand? Um, it's, it's her seeking attention, and previous people, I think more than 2 people have testified. She's always wanted to be famous, and she said, my kind Joshlin het my famous gemaakt. So, ironically, she got what she wanted, but she didn't really care about anything, just herself.
Now, there was an interesting, one of the people you interviewed afterwards said Kelly was a good mother. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, even before the trial, IOL had interviewed someone that also took the stand, Colin Zegers, whom Kelly worked for. And Kelly was described as being a good mother. Yes, she had a fault. Her drug use, maybe not the best characteristics from her, but when it came to her children, they were always clean. She made sure they were fed, even if it was that they had to ask someone for bread, and her children were always with her. And to many people, while she could not provide the riches many fortunate people can, makes her a good mother, makes her a pleasant mother. Because if we remember, Joshlin's father is not that present because he lives in another province. Understand? So I cannot speak much of was she a good mother? I don't know. Um, Everyone has their own scale, I would say, that they would say, this defines a good mother. I won't be able to say because I did not know Kelly personally. But from those two people that I've heard from, according to them, she was a good mother.
And what is the sense in Saldanha right now in terms of Kelly being sentenced, Joshlin still being missing? Because the community got very involved.
Look, the community, while they are happy with the sentence, they are happy that these three are going away. There are still so many unanswered questions. And what angers the community the most is the fact that Kelly is Joshlin's mother, and she has not spoken during this trial. Everyone sat at the edge of their seats hoping and praying that, when the defense brought their case before the court, that she would take the stand, and she didn't. We thought she would take the stand during sentencing proceedings, and she didn't. Everyone has been wanting to hear from her. She has refused to take the court in their confidence. She allegedly told her mother that she would speak. She blatantly, obviously, did not. So people are angry at her because majority of mothers in that informal settlement are single parents. And I'm not sure if you remember the inspection in loco that we did. When we got to the area closer to the little shack where Joshlin lived, there was a mother screaming at Kelly, expressing her anger, and saying that, despite her daughter being disabled, she wouldn't be able to do something like that. So the community is also still hopeful. They still search, they still pray. There was a group of women every morning before court started. They would pray outside the multipurpose center, which was so nice. And after they came to pray for the judge, everybody involved, even the accused themselves. So the community of Saldanha, they've got a lot of faith. And I think that is the only thing like holding that community together, their faith at this moment.
So during his sentencing, Judge Erasmus did say that he would deal with Laurentia Lombard at a later stage. Can you maybe just say what are we expecting to come from this?
Look, so Laurentia Lombard turned state witness in October. She gave her evidence, much of which basically I would say she was the state star witness in this matter. While she was not a perfect witness, we all know there were many flaws during that testimony, but the foundation, it stuck. No, the story never changed. So now it's for the court to decide actually what happens with her. When you become a state witness, it's not to say 100% that you have immunity. Because look, when you look at Judge Erasmus, he's very fair. and he takes everything into account. It could be that while she may not get a life sentence, she can still spend time behind bars for involvement. I think we are all now waiting for that hearing with bated breath. We know that the hearing will take place in Cape Town and not in Saldanha. So we're just hoping to get a date and see what happens, because right now it's 50-50.
And you've covered a lot of court stories. Do you think this was a quick, process?
This was a very expedited trial. I know to a lot of people, it felt like everything was dragging. But I've sat on in trials that took 3-4 years, for families to get justice, and this took weeks. Um, I think, the judiciary has now shown that it is possible for these child cases to be expedited. It is possible for justice to be taken to the people. And I hope that this case now sets a precedent for every other case to come. Hopefully, not that much, but for every other case to come.
Thank you so much, Robin. Have
It's
a
a
wonderful
pleasure.
day. Bye.